discovered months ago, really nothing in our lives is very normal right now. So that's certainly true with our football program. The challenges we're facing, the conditions we're working under, unlike, just like everybody else in the country, there's really no way to compare it to anything else that we've done. We've shared that with our players. I think they probably figured that out. And really what we're experiencing right now is really no different than a lot of businesses or other parts of life right now. It's just certainly a national issue. So really, as far as it goes for us, what it boils down to, what we try to encourage our players to do is just do the best that we can all do, given the circumstances. And they aren't comparable to anything we've done before. And really what it gets down to is staying focused on what it is we are able to do right now. And realizing that everybody, for the most part, is facing the similar challenges. Some are a little different timing, all that kind of thing. But I think the challenges in general are really pretty much the same. And whether it's the next 5 months, 5 weeks, 5 days, really none of us can predict the future, know what's going to take place. So we have to prepare full speed as if we're going on straight ahead. So just regarding the pandemic, we have been back on campus now since June 8th. And we've experienced some COVID in our program, certainly, probably like everybody. And if there are any positives at this point, the symptoms have been relatively minor. Nobody's really been affected greatly. Certainly no hospitalizations, those types of things. So that's been good. We're getting great medical support. Just walking you back through the timeline before everybody got back into the program, coaches, work players, everybody was tested. And then since that time, we're filling out daily questionnaires, health questionnaires. Temperatures are being gauged every time anybody enters the building, and just trying to control it that way the best we can. Certainly the way we're training is different than any time in the past. First of all, we spaced out our groups a little bit more to limit traffic flow in the building. The meals are all takeout meals now. The guys carry them out of the building. Nobody's eating, nobody's congregating in our building. And then with the strength conditioning program itself, we're putting players in pods. Typically you'd have guys working, by position, by size, those types of things. Right now it's more geared towards their social network, if you will. So it might be 3 guys that live in an apartment together, 4 guys that live in a house together, are working together as opposed to times past. And one other alteration that we've had, typically in the summertime, our guys, we open the facility in the afternoon, give them a chance if they want to go throw the football around, do skill work, things like that. They've been able to do that. We actually shut that down for a period. Just kind of reintroduced it very, very bare bones yesterday for a very limited time. And even then, typically in the summertime, our guys are throwing 7-on-7 receivers, DBs, working against each other, those types of things. Without coaches, but they're doing it, a couple times a week. That would be very common. So right now, they can't do that. We haven't had any of that going on. And yesterday's really the first day that guys have been in the building, or at least on our fields out back. I assume throwing the ball, just one-on-one routes, but we've got 1 quarterback assigned to a small pod of receivers, and then keeping everybody separate. So again, it's very, very different, very bare bones. But I think ultimately my observation is maybe as important as anything. And I kind of felt this way 6-7 weeks ago. We can probably do a good job controlling things in our program, in the building, what we're asking our players to do. Really the biggest challenge still is when they leave the building. And it's that way 24 hours a day. It's that way every year since I got into coaching and teaching. But so I just want to credit our players. I think they've done a really good job of living a normal life right now. They're football is all about bringing people together. And unfortunately, we can't encourage that right now, be it over here training or when they're on their own. So it's just a very, very different existence right now. And I think our guys are doing a really good job with that. Just moving on here, a couple things. So talking about the season again, obviously none of us know. Nobody in the room knows. None of us as coaches know. More importantly, a lot of people that are making decisions really don't know what the season's going to bring. Certainly support fully what the Big Ten announced last Thursday about going to conference-only play. Obviously, there's a downside to that. A big downside is it affects us personally. We're scheduled to play both Northern Iowa and Iowa State this year. And both of those games are important to our program and to their programs, I think. I don't want to speak for them, but I think they're important for our state. We've got great respect, certainly I think all of us do in our program for both those programs, their coaching staffs, their players, what they've done. And in my personal opinion, I think the Northern Iowa playing them on a regular basis is good for the state. So that's something we fully support, just like the Iowa State series. It's been great since it got going back in the late 70s, and it's something I think it's very, very important. But I think really it was done in the spirit of mostly the Big Ten being able to control fully what the path ahead is in terms of testing, all the different things that are going to be coming at us as we move along, and just adjustments that have to be made. So I think that was really the impetus behind that. I think Gary could probably speak more detail than I can, but that would be my sense. And it's probably illustrated with the way life is right now. What we're doing right now is just, there's no way to compare it to anything any of us have gone through. So that's just a couple thoughts on that. And then lastly here, just an overview of the last 5-6 weeks. It's really been eventful, obviously very educational, I think, for everybody. Going back 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, we've had a lot of hard conversations, very emotional and powerful conversations. Yeah, and just in a nutshell, I just want to say I'm really proud of the people in our program, our staff, our coaching staff, our support staff, but most importantly, our players, the way they've handled things, and they've just done a really stellar job. And I'd also include a lot of former players and former coaches as well, just their input, their support, and what they've added to the conversation. So, it's really been good in a lot of different ways. Just more directly, since we got going back on June 8th, the leadership group had some really good conversation with the leadership group. They've done a great job of talking about some things that came out in the first couple meetings that we had, some concerns, some things that players felt needed to be addressed, and we've gone through those pretty methodically. And haven't put anything in permanent ink yet, but we've had good discussion. I think we have a good agreement of where we're going. Some things have been finalized, others are still being worked on. But the bottom line is we've really, I think, gone through it methodically and tried to, take on the topics that were really important to our players. And I'll share one with you that was our most recent meeting a week ago. We dedicated a whole hour to the national anthem topic, and I've been on record saying that my goal is for our team to be together, whatever we choose to do, saying that. And I'll tell you right now that I think that's the sense I walked away with from this meeting, that our players are very much together on it. And I'll put it in different terms. So together, as I walked into that meeting, was 100%, A or B. And I think right now there's a clear division with our team. I don't know what the percentage is. I've been speculating. We will probe on that when we get our whole team together, if that ever happens. We'll probe on that. But just as an illustration, there was discussion on both sides of the topic. And the thing I took away from the meeting was I don't think there is a right answer, clearly. I can tell you from the amount of emails I get and letters I get, it is a very hot button topic, no question about it. But what I took away from the meeting was the conversations that took place during the meeting, and they were done with great respect, all right, for each other. And there was a lot of listening going on, a lot of good discussion, but most evidently a lot of good respect for each other. So, as I look at it, I'm an older guy and all that stuff. You watch TV, you get depressed. That's part of the problem in our country right now, quite frankly. And what I witnessed in that hour was what you're looking for. All right, the foundation of a good team is teams that honor each other's opinions, honor each other's beliefs, but do so with respect. And that's quite frankly what I took away from the meeting. We'll have time to decide certainly what we choose to do. No final decision has been made. I know that's something people are concerned about or interested in for obvious reasons. We haven't finalized anything, but again, I'm just really proud of the way these guys talk and converse and approach the subject. So that's that. And just in closing here, just want to take this moment. Broderick Binns' announcement about being the executive director of the DEI has become official now. Anyway, and I just want to congratulate Broderick on that. It's something he's done a great job in the program. As a player, 5 years, was a 2-year GA for us, and then most recently, last 4 years, has been our player development director since Chick left and went to the Tennessee Titans. So in the interim, what we'll do right now is we're filling his responsibilities with several of the staff members on board, and we'll continue to do so. Our plan is to at least take it through January that way. And Sam Brinks will carry the heaviest burden, if you will. He'll assume a lot of the player roles, especially the first-year players. Sam, as you all know, most of you know, was a good player with us, senior 2 years ago. Had a really nice career here, really developed into a good player, coming here as a walk-on from Carolina, and has worked with us in our recruiting department this past year, and is just an outstanding person. So he'll do a great job bridging that gap, and then we'll address that position as we move forward. So that being said, I'll throw it out for questions.